So a lot has happened in the last 24 hours for Battlefield 2042. The biggest patch that we've seen since launch has finally come out in the form of Update 3, and that thing on its own merit is probably worth a video on its own. There's a lot of good to have come out of that update, and it does feel like the game is edging ever so closer to where it really should have been from a polish perspective, I guess, not a feature perspective, because feature-wise the game is still lacking, but polish-wise, I feel like we're slowly getting there. But there's also a couple of other tidbits that need to be discussed here today as well, including the leaking of some upcoming skins coming to the game. G'day there once again, viewers, this is your mate Kamikaze78 here, and today we're going to go over everything Battlefield and just what the hell is going on there. So firstly, let's talk about the thing that is most relevant to the majority of us right now, gang. Update 3. Battlefield 2042's third update aims to address a lot of the issues that we saw with the launch of the game, and there's no denying just the sheer size of this patch. All of its bullet points alone equate to around about 4,779 words in length, which makes for easily one of the larger patch notes I've ever seen before in the context of a first-person shooter. Now, there's a couple of things I want to get out of the way here first. This is not a patch that magically fixes performance. DICE on multiple occasions now have confirmed that they are aware of players on PC in particular suffering big time when it comes to game performance, but they have said for them to fix it right, it's going to take a while. Not the news I know many wanted to hear, but it is what it is, and I'm just reiterating it, don't shoot the messenger. In addition, hit registration was not completely addressed in this update. This is also something that requires ongoing investigation from DICE, and is something that we will have to hold out for just a little bit longer until DICE can come up with an appropriate fix. DICE did state that a pseudo fix was added to this patch to sort of, help to mitigate some of the hit reg related issues, but it's not a silver bullet just yet, and it's something that we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for. In saying that, we allegedly do have an additional update coming to the game prior to the year being out, so I hope that we can see some of those hit reg issues fixed there as well, and maybe some performance improvements too, but I think I might be dreaming a bit there. Now, to clarify here today, guys, we are not going to read through the patch notes in their entirety. There is just simply too many, and quite frankly, you guys can read. What I do want to do is take a quick moment to talk about a few of the more impactful ones that I've noticed so far when it comes to gameplay and go from there. I also want to talk about the skins that got leaked because, well, they need to be addressed as well. But onto the patch notes. First things first, one of the biggest improvements that I've noticed so far is that the collection screen has been drastically improved when it comes to managing your plus menu customization and your attachment loadout. Now, as opposed to having to click on the individual attachment category and then making adjustments to what you want in that plus menu area, you can now just simply hot swap between those attachment categories on the fly with one click. I gotta tell you guys, it is such a drastic improvement. I really wish that this was a thing before I unlocked the majority of the attachments that I have now and, kind of have my weapon loadout sorted already, but you know what? It's better late than never. It's here now. I'm very happy about that. In addition, and this is also something I noticed immediately on gameplay, HUD icons now scale over distance much more nicely, which kind of creates a less cluttered HUD space. In this game, there is a crap ton, and I mean a crap ton of HUD clutter at times, so to see there be some actual scaling over distance does help to declutter it and really does emphasize important information right in front of you. Excellent change. Now, I didn't see this in the patch notes anywhere, and I may have just been somewhat dyslexic and missed it entirely, but revives are much faster now if you're either playing as Folk or as Angel. I don't know what to tell you guys, but revive speed has definitely been quickened by a considerable margin, which does help to incentivize revives a bit further. It also makes the gameplay feel a bit faster as a support player. You feel like you spend less time with each patient, allowing you to have more impact on the battlefield. I kind of like the change. It definitely makes the act of reviving and the act of going out and, risking yourself for a revive feel a lot more rewarding, and overall the balance of revives just feels a lot nicer. It does sort of help you keep the front lines of a push or the bulwark of a defense, if you will, a little stronger for a bit longer as a supported player, and you feel like you're having more impact there, which is lovely. In addition to reviving, there is now a HUD element that will show you which players are nearby you who have the ability to revive you while you are downed. It will also show you incoming revivers and pinged players who are coming to revive you. Also a great change there. I've been requesting that since the game launched. It's great to see it finally here. When you are now low on health or ammo on the battlefield, the HUD will now display display an icon above allies within 50 meters that can provide you with either ammo packs or health packs to get you back up into working order. Again, considering now that specialists can run with any gadget in the game, this is an awesome change. We've also seen some pretty good specialists' quality of life buffs as well, mainly with Angel and Falk, and a couple of others here and there. With Angel, you will now see a white outline on allies that need your armor and will receive the magnetizing effect when you throw it towards them. That is just such an incredible quality of life feature that, I'll be honest, I don't know why it wasn't in the game in the first place, because the amount of times I threw an armor pack to an ally who I just guessed would need it, and it didn't magnetize, and therefore I didn't get the experience for it, just felt really cumbersome. So that change has really improved Angel and just made him that much of a stronger specialist right now. In addition, Angel can now give himself armor directly by holding the equip button for that gadget slot. So as opposed to having to throw it on the ground and then run over it, he can now just simply give himself the armor, no questions asked. Again, making Angel a lot more consistent to play. Falk now also has the same overlay for players who need assistance with her Surret pistol. So again, an excellent change there to sort of, improve the quality of life of playing those two supportive specialists. Boris has also received a bit of a buff. His turret will now remain active once you enter a down state and will only be destroyed upon you being killed completely. So I've seen a few more Borises rolling around. I've seen their turrets play a bit more of a meaningful role now. It's, kind of annoying to go against, but a bit more worth playing Boris now as a result. Rao's Cyber Warfare suite now has a short grace period after something you are hacking finds cover, which is actually mainly aimed to improve hacking reliability when vehicles are navigating dense tree lines in particular, so Rao might be a bit more consistent now to use as well. I'll be honest, I haven't tested him a lot, but sounds like overall he's a bit more consistent to use. Pike's EGMX scanner now provides victims an audible sound effect for being scanned and will also now work for scanning targets above and below the user. I've been on the receiving end of this quite a bit as of late, and it's almost borderline annoying how often I get pinged by it on certain maps and on certain game modes, but overall it's the kind of feedback I would want to know if someone is wall hacking me, so again, great to see that be added to the game. Cooldowns for gadgets are no longer paused when entering a vehicle, so great for players who find themselves jumping in and out of vehicles, especially with a repair tool. I'm, again, just thankful that that got fixed. Mastery tracking and checking progress to upcoming unlocks has been improved and is now visually relayed to the player on a glance in the menus. Again, huge improvement right there. I think also the tracking of mastery awards and when they're actually awarded to you has been improved, because anyone who's been on my stream lately will remember that we were going for the NTW 50 heavy armor piercing ammo, and I'd completed all the goals that I thought I did and I didn't unlock it. And then upon a relog, it was sitting there unlocked waiting for me. So I think that's also been improved as well based on these patch notes. Vehicle countermeasures have now been apparently fixed where missiles, wouldn't blow up and instead would reacquire the same target after the countermeasures had worn off. Again, great fix for pilots and, maintaining a consistent ability to actually use those countermeasures. In total, there's been over 150 fixes, whether that be small changes or improvements across all maps in the game to avoid players getting snagged or trapped in geometry or seeing strange artificing bugs, that sort of stuff. Capture timers were also tuned for breakthrough. Now, to be honest, I can't really tell how so they've been tuned so far, but apparently it's been changed. As a person who plays breakthrough all the time, I think maybe it takes longer to capture an objective, but I can't quite tell if I'm being honest. Battlefield Portal now has support for rush game modes on Battlefield 2042 All-Out Warfare maps, and there's an official playlist by DICE to facilitate this edition. I've played it a bit so far, and this was a bit bittersweet for me because Rush is one of my favorite game modes to have ever come out in Battlefield. I love the game flow, I love how it, directs combat and keeps the action constant, but it very much feels tacked on in some aspects when it comes to all-out warfare maps. For example, in Hourglass, there is a massive trek across the desert between the first and second MCOM stations. It just feels ludicrous as to how far you've actually got to travel across open territory. And on Kaleidoscope, one of the MCOMs is on the rooftop. And in addition to that, the defenders don't even spawn on the rooftop. So if the attackers get up to the MCOM and they arm it, it's basically game over. It just does not work on Kaleidoscope, and that needs to be changed. DICE, stop putting objectives on rooftops. It doesn't work in the, attacker and defender situation game modes. It just doesn't work there. There are also now official templates for Vehicle Team Deathmatch, Team or Free-for-All Gunmaster, and Infection game modes for those who want want to have a nice starting point for creating their own custom experiences like such. I'll be honest guys, that's only really a scratch as to what came out with this patch. It was a big one, and I'm not going to have the time to go over everything here in this video. You know, we'd be here for a very long time. But as I said before, you guys can read. Recommend checking out the link in the description down below to go check it out for yourself if you want to. In general, the patch fixed a lot of issues that players have been facing the brunt of since launch. It wasn't all smooth sailing though. PC players got hit with a brand new bug, and quite an impressive one if I may say so myself, that stopped their mouse being able to let them look left and right. I'm legitimately impressed that this made it to the game and wasn't caught in initial testing, but at this stage I'm also not really surprised anymore. Hell, the persistence error also made a bit of a return for a while I think, but based on my play session tonight, that might have been dealt with, so you know, we may be out of the woods there, but results may vary. Overall, the game is sorta starting to feel like where it should have been at launch based on polish. Is it there yet? No. Content still feels lackluster to me after unlocking everything in the game and just sort of now mixing and matching between weapons, and the game still lacks polish and basic stuff like a scoreboard, for crying out loud. We are on the right track, but this patch merely makes the game just a little bit less awkward to play. It doesn't revolutionize the game and turn it into some brand spanking new experience that we've all been wanting. So make sure you're tempering your expectations here, and don't think that this is the opportunity to go out and buy the game immediately if you've been sort of on the fence already. We're actually going to be doing a video next week talking about what I think the game needs to do to fix the experience and make it feel like a smooth, feature-filled Battlefield title. So make sure you get subscribed for that one, guys. It's going to be a good one. But something else also happened today. There was a cheeky little leak that dropped inadvertently from DICE themselves with this update, and I'll be real, my heart sank to my stomach when seeing this. This update also brought about functionality of weekly missions to enter the game next week. So to clarify, these have not been activated yet and you can't go ahead and complete them just yet. A game next week, I think, is the planned release. The idea of them though is that if you complete all of the missions laid out to you, then you will unlock a cosmetic reward. Pretty cool, right? Gives us something to do, and cosmetics are always fun to grind for. That was until I saw what these cosmetics were in theory. And if you're at all in the loop on Battlefield Twitter or on social media, Reddit, whatever, you've probably seen these by now. Among the skins, there is stuff like Boris in a Santa costume, and a Nightbird decorated in Christmas lights, and I think a McKay looking like some weird version of an Australian in Christmas. I've got no idea. And I'll be real, these pissed me off big time. I always had the fear that with the heavily monetized direction the specialists were clearly going with this game, that goofy skins would make their way into the game at some point. To me, that's not what Battlefield is about, and games like World War III, which we're also going to be covering on the channel soon, have proven that you can make a deep and meaningful visual customization system while using somewhat realistic or gritty cosmetics that would, you know, exist in real combat situations and not feel tone deaf. So yeah, seeing these skins had me concerned, but thankfully the DICE Direct Communication Twitter account came out and stated the following. Today, some of you accidentally got a glimpse of some holiday-themed cosmetics, and we wanted to help clarify their intended usage. Development for the live service requires us to work months in advance and enables us to have options when we reach key moments in our first year. Today, we have other priorities, and so whilst we have the skins, we presently have no plans to utilize all of them this holiday. We also create unique cosmetics for single-time use in special Battlefield Portal modes to further enhance the fantasy in special events. Throughout our live service, you may occasionally encounter these mode lock cosmetics which don't impact the rest of the game. So in essence, these are going to be limited time skins that are only applied to certain Portal experiences that match the vibe or intended experience. Seasonal events in games are something that has been around for a long time now and is becoming just ever so more popular. And with Battlefield now becoming a live service title, it's fair to expect seasonal content coming to the game to drive player bases to new areas of the game in an attempt to keep things fresh. In saying that, I am still a little bit concerned about the general design direction of the game's cosmetics in the long run. They could do a lot to make these characters look badass and really fit the gritty war environment that Battlefield 2042 seems to want to accomplish, but the game isn't letting itself do it at the moment. I'm just really hoping that DICE keep the general vibe relatively down to earth here. Otherwise, Battlefield 2042 is set to become one of the goofiest Battlefields ever made, probably just shy of Hardline at this point, even maybe more so than Hardline. But yeah, guys, it's safe to say that that's everything I wanted to cover in today's video. I know that more stuff has gone on with the Battlefield franchise today with the announcements about like how the universe of Battlefield is growing or whatever have you. I'm not going to cover that in this video because, well, there's just so much to unpack there, and a lot of other content creators have already done it so well. So I'm going to steer clear of that for now. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to backhand the like button. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. And if you're new to the channel, then consider hitting subscribe and turning on the notification bell. Once again, that helps us go a long way in keeping content coming out to you guys regularly, and you know, you guys get notified when we do our stuff. Leave a comment down below on how you think the game's tracking after this update. You think it's better, worse? Let me know what your thoughts are. And as always, guys, I'd recommend checking out our social media links down below for Discord, Twitter, and TikTok for more content there too. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good one.